What's good, folks? How y'all living? How y'all feeling, bro? Y'all feeling good? I'll tell you what, man. Today has been something else. It was a no trade day again. Again. So, definitely I think a market where being patient is paying off, staying disciplined is saving you money, saving you time. Because the market we're in right now, it's really weird. It's like we'll have a really nice day where stuff can go up 200, 300%, and we'll have another day where there's nothing. Now today there has been stocks that popped up. Um for example, today there it was super slow today for anything but the one penny stock, and it's because I was trying to find the name. TNMG took the show. I mean, this had an insane squeeze up, but I don't trade penny stocks. And uh I mean, I'd say a lot of people do. Like, it's dispersed, so I think it's just like any strategy. It's dispersed on who trades it, who doesn't, but a lot of people I think were just YOLOing and jumping on TNMG since it was squeezing up so hard or so high, and they were just trying to make like $1,000, whatever, uh, jumping in on this. Now, it's like, could I have traded it? Yeah, but it goes against my rules and everything. And I've broke my rules before, and I went on an 8-day red streak, and I don't want to repeat that. I learned from my mistakes, and I'm not trying to keep repeating the same mistakes that keeps you unprofitable, right? We want to grow, we want to learn, and we really we don't want to stay in the same place if you're actually trying to make money trading. You want to go forward. And even though it's hard to watch something like this and not take a single trade on it, because it seems like it's just going straight up on the 5 minute chart, realistically, it grinds up. It's, for me anyway, it's painful for me to be in a trade and just watch something grind up and nothing really happen. So it's not what I trade, but you know, it works for some people. Some people do really well on them. And if you are someone who trades penny stocks, that's awesome. Find your strategy, find your niche, find what works for you. But it doesn't work for me, and it's not part of my strategy because I just feel like the order books are too thick. Meaning that they just grind and move too slowly, and it feels like the risk to reward for having to jump in with such a high share size. I mean, you don't have to, but it seems like you need to jump in with a higher share size to even capitalize on something. And then it moving just like 10 cents is huge compared to jumping in something that's like, $5 or $10, and it squeezes up and it can go dollars a share, and you can be in, 200 shares, 300 shares, 1,000 shares, and make way more money. You know what I mean? That's just kind of my take on it. But yeah, it is a no trade day. But um, there was some trades I didn't feel like they were good enough for a risk to reward ratio. So MGRX popped up at first, had this big topping tail, sold off, so popped up, sold off, and then had this curl up. I didn't take that curl or anything. I didn't trust it. It could have went up um to retest for a double top, but I didn't have faith in it. I just kind of watched it happen. I didn't want to push it. Curls up over here, and kind of sells off under VWAP. Tries to curl up. Big rejection right here. Then we had CCRN. So CCRN popped up. Or no, I might have just been watching that one. Trying to go. Oh, Thar, that's what it was. So I have traded this stock so many times throughout my life, bro. Just throughout my year of trading, I've traded Thar so many times, and I just saw it pop up and immediately knew it was gonna flush over, right? I've had days where I did good on Thar, but as you can see, like, pop and drop on the daily, selling off there, selling off. Like, the stock's notorious for popping and dropping. Sometimes it really takes off, but I told myself there's no way, not in this market where shorts are a little more confident, am I gonna, test trading that. So SGBX was another one where you had some pops, right? You had some pops, but it just, it wasn't trading cleanly. I mean, you had some tweezer tops, it was trading under VWAP. I saw this, and this was a potential trade right here. But the problem was it sold off and then was coming back for a curl and went under the 200, reclaimed the 200. And by the time it came back to the VWAP, it's like, well, it's already 8 o'clock. This thing has already got signs that it can reject hard. So I'm like, what makes it any different that this is just going to reject off VWAP if I took this for a VWAP break for the move higher to retest highs? And I mean, that's what happened. It rejected and just sold off. And I mean, later in the day, this was I didn't see this because I left at 9. So actually, yeah, but I mean, still, look at these rejections right here. So squeezed up a little bit, but then immediately, boom, slammed back down to the 200, curls back up. Uh, this is actually more clean right here. But by the time you got this nice pullback for that move higher, it's like, how can you even trust that? I mean, you could YOLO it, but like at the same time, I'm not I'm not trying to trade something in risk. I'm not trying to lose money on a trade. I'm not trying to take a trade that I'm sketched out about. If I got to convince myself that a trade is nice to take, it's probably not even worth taking the trade. And throughout the whole day, it seemed like there really was nothing to trade. Now, there was one trade I did try to take, but it did not fill. And I am trying to find that right now. Okay. SLRX. I did try to take a trade on SLRX, and I'll tell you why here. So if we go back a little bit to the beginning, I don't know what the hell happened here. Just started going sideways. Um, it popped up, and then I was like, okay, it's a low float, 500,000 shares. It's got a catalyst. Sells off, comes back up, fails the bull flag for, the next break through the high day. Now it is cheaper too, but I was also thinking, okay, it's a cheaper stock, but at the same time it's a low float. So if you break for new highs, you could potentially get a squeeze upwards. And then I looked at the daily and I saw, okay, you do have room up to 3. But then I realized there was a problem. The problem was that you have the 9 EMA here, which is at 207. You have the 200 EMA, which is at 284. And that's a problem because then it's got to break through both of these EMAs to get to 320. Now, despite that, I really thought since it was a lower float stock, this could work. And I saw this pull back, come back up, pull back, and then this is an ABCD pattern. So then I try to buy the dip off. I actually try to buy the bid so I can get the lowest fill. So I buy the bid to try to get that bounce off of VWAP for that move through the highs is what I was thinking. I didn't fill, so I just canceled my order and watched, and then it went up a little bit and then kind of just sold off. So I could have got a little trade on it if I was to get filled on it. So I attempted to take a trade on that ABCD pattern, but it ended up just failing. And, that's because by that time, all attention was on TNMG, which made this enormous move right here. So, and now NVVE is another penny stock that's, taken the show and kind of been grinding up throughout the day. So, it's at least good that we're seeing some momentum. Even if it's penny stocks and it's not my preferred trading style, it's better to see something than nothing. MRSN, this was just a buyout. That's the only reason why it's up. That's why it's trading sideways. So, whatever. CYCU popping back up. So, you know, you have this topping tail here that popped up. Shorts jumped in, just pushed this thing back down. I don't really expect this to hold. Lighter volume. MACD is positive. Kind of a lower float. The problem is shorts are just confident right now. But, you have those days where they get too confident and then we squeeze the shorts out and then we get them 300, 400% moves. Just like we did a couple of days ago when we had that 400% short squeeze. I can't remember what stock it was on, but yeah, I mean that's gonna wrap it up today. So another no trade day. Although we did try to take a trade, it just didn't fill. So at least we got a clean setup. We're starting to see some clean setups, some clean patterns, and shorts aren't just selling everything off. It's definitely not like it was. We're slowly starting to pick up that momentum. It's just not all in one rush like, normally we see in cycles where it's just one giant stock that goes up like 1,000%, 400, 500, 600%, and then the market cycle switches to another. And then after it switches, or I mean, after that huge move, rather, you actually get that cycle switch. Buyers start getting more confident, which we're actually seeing a lot more buyers and a lot more volume coming in since we're seeing these moves again. Before we weren't seeing anything. Now we're seeing penny stocks move. We're seeing regular stocks at least try to move, and shorts struggling, but shorts are still jumping on everything at the start. So you still got to be cautious. But like I said, it's a really weird time because some days the market is dead, and then other days we're seeing these pops and we're seeing it squeeze upwards and getting really nice volume. So you know, especially Mondays. For some reason, Mondays have been very volatile, and I don't understand that. But Mondays have been taking a lot of the cake. To be honest with you, like there's been some impressive moves this Monday and last Monday. So I wonder how tomorrow will be going into um Friday. Yeah, I don't know. It's been kind of on and off. So going into tomorrow, let's hope Friday we end the week off strong, and then we'll come into Monday for another big move, potentially another big day where we get these nice squeezes up. But that's gonna wrap it up for me. No trade day. A pretty simple day. Just kind of sat here, watched everything. You gotta have discipline to sit here and just kind of watch, but while you're sitting here doing nothing, keep yourself disciplined. Study your trades, review your trades, do what you got to do, read a book, do something productive with your time, so you're not just sitting here wasting it. But yeah, that's going to end it for me, guys. Peace. I hope you guys did catch some good trades today. If you trade penny stocks, I really hope you did well on TNMG or NVVE. Now, if you guys could hit the like and subscribe button, I would appreciate that. It helped me out a ton here. But we can see right there, NVVE is selling off. So, yeah, shorts kind of piling in right there. And by the way, you can see this right here. So if you're newer, think of this. This is a shoulder right here. So you see how this comes up? Shoulder. You got the head here and then another shoulder. This is a good example of a head and shoulders pattern. So like I said, I'm trying to be like more documenting my journey than trying to teach you, but this is a clear pattern of a head and shoulders pattern, very bullish. So just know, like, if you were here and you're like, oh, like this might be a curl up, you can see the shoulder, the head, and you're like, oh. So you could get out before you get caught in that big trap. But I'm gonna wrap it up, guys. Peace. I appreciate y'all.